Oh, hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Timbo Took, and this is A Joy of Painting Middle-earth, a time when we come together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer, and maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. Oh, hello, and thank you for joining me. Let's get to our painting today. We are painting the Forbidden Pool, Henneth Annûn. That's right. That's right. We're not painting it at night, though. This is when Gollum first spots it during the day. So I've prepared the canvas. I just took a bit of black gesso, that black acrylic gesso, and I put it on our canvas. And then I just took the 2-inch brush and I just dabbed it up here to make kind of those trees off in the background. And we're going to start to fill this in. Now I have covered this with a liquid white up there on top, just there on top, and then a liquid green. I just used some liquid clear, mixed it with some green and a little bit of blue down there for the body of the painting. That's right, the way Bob Ross the Blue taught us how to do it. That's right, Bob Ross the Blue. He'd come to the Shire once a week when I was just a little hobbit, and he taught us all how to paint. So here we go. We're going to come up here, up top, and we have, let's say we have some gray clouds up there. The clouds are just gray. It's not a sunshiny day. So I'm just going to take some of our titanium white, put it here, and just a touch of that midnight black. Oh yes, our colors we have here. We have our phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, sap green, burnt umber, midnight black, cadmium yellow, Burra Hobbit. Not a Burra Hobbit. What's a Burra Hobbit? Yellow ochre. I don't know why I almost said Burra Hobbit there. And bright red and, of course, titanium white. So we've got that midnight black. We're just going to come in just slightly to that. There we go. Just mixing it in, just making a little bit of a grayish color. The skies aren't the most pleasant skies there, so we'll just put it in, and we don't have much of a sky. We're just going to come up here, and we'll just roll some clouds in back here. And there's some mountains in the background too, but they're going to be lost in these clouds. We'll just bring that in. There we go, right down this way. There we are. We just put it up there like a mess. Now let's blend that together. So I'm just going to set down my fan brush. There we are. I'm going to drop it again. I need a better system here. And I've got a blender brush. One of my favorite brushes, these blender brushes. Now, just pull it a little bit. These are very loose. They have a lot of hairs that'll come off there. But we just come up here, and we're just going to soften this out. Just soften those clouds, just using that brush, just pushing that right into the canvas. There we go. They're not too harsh clouds, but it's, back there somewhere is Mordor, which is poisoning everything. That's right. So we just want a little cloud effect going back there. There we are. Now, if you're in the forest and you ever see clouds like that, and they seem real low, use your sniffer. You want to make sure you're not walking into a forest fire. No, that's quite scary. Quite scary. So that's all we're going to do there for the clouds. Just that. Maybe I'll come in with a touch of color down here. There we go. There we are. It's just a little more interesting than just that straight white on there. So let's clean off some brushes here. We've got our odorless paint thinner here. And in the bucket we have the odorless paint thinner. Now, we're not in the hobbit hole, so we're not going to beat this, we are in the hobbit hole. We're not out in the field, so we're not going to beat the Sauron out of the brush right on the easel there. Too many things around that would get all wet with paint thinner. So I have a rubbish bin down here. And that's right. Now, you do want to be a little gentle with that blender brush. Just beat the Sauron out of it lightly. That's right. We'll set that down to the side. And we're going to come back to our fan brush. And we're going to put some more trees right in front of these ones. Those are just off in the back. You can barely see them. So what we want to do is we want to come to our, we're going to go to the midnight black again. We're going to put it here, right there. Then maybe a touch of sap green in there. Mix that around. These are going to be in the back, so they're kind of in shadow a bit. Not a lot of color to them. And we'll just come right here, right in front. We just make a line right there with the fan brush. Just put the line in. Oh, this fan brush is getting he's getting a little out of shape. Oh, little out of shape like Timbo. Oh, but it's a new year. We always have to make New Year's resolutions. And, Timbo's going to exercise more and eat more green things this year. That's what I always say. I mean, I don't always say that and then not do it. Of course not. All right, you just put the line there, and then we're just going to take the corner of the brush, and we're just going to zigzag back and forth, back and forth. And this brush is not a very sharp brush, but we'll do that. Put that in there. There we go. Let's do another one of those. There we are. Some sap green there. So that when they put that in there, it pushes those other trees farther and farther back. So we just put a line right here. Then we just follow that line down, just taking the corner of the brush and just zigzag back and forth. Back and forth. There we go. It makes those needles on the evergreen tree. There we are. Let's do a few more of those. Those are fun. Those are fun. Oh, maybe a big one right here. Right here. I'll come right down this way. And then again with the corner of the brush, just going back and forth. And put some more paint on there. That gets a bit thicker as it comes down. There we go. There we are. These trees are still far back, but not as far back as the other ones. There we are. Just push that paint on. There we go. Come up here. Maybe there's one coming this way. I'm going to go to this side. It looks a little sharper. There we are. And then just follow that line down. Just going back and forth. Back and forth, giving us our leaves on those trees. Just bend that brush as it touches the canvas. There we go. And it gives us a lot there just in the background. Again, just touching up with a little bit of sap green, just coming there, coming in with a midnight black. And we'll go back up here. We'll do another one right here. Right here, the sky. It's up this way. And then we just go back and forth again. There we are, and just pound that right into the canvas. There we go. There we go. Now, maybe we want to put some of that on a little thicker there. Those branches are a little weak there, so we'll come on, just put a little more paint on there. You can do that. If you look at it and you go, oh, that tree, it looks a little scant. I need some more on there. Just come back, come to it. And then this one, it was pretty thick up top and got a little weak in the middle. So we'll just come back. There we go. There we are. And we can just put this in. This is just some of the land there at the bottom. We'll come back and put a little color in there. That's right. So we just have that. So we've already created a few layers just with what that background was, just with these trees coming in. Now we'll put some more, and we'll come in front of these, And we'll make these ones a little greener, a little more green. So let's come to that sap green. These will be a little brighter. A little closer, we can see more color with them. And we'll come up. He's going to go right in front here. Maybe. He'll be even taller than these ones. Look at that guy, right there. Right there. Put more of that paint on the brush. And we're going to go back and forth like we did with the other. There we go. And you can see he's just going to push those guys back. Just pushing them back. We'll do another one right there. I know we're putting in a lot of trees. You're like, oh, Timbo, let's get to something else. But we don't want it to look too bare. Don't want it to look too bare. There we go. Back and forth. So there you can see, each time we come a little forward, we make it a little brighter. And that makes those trees further and further back. This one's closer, so he'll be a little taller. And then do our same zigzag here. Need some more paint on there. He's getting a little thin. There we are. Now we're going to come and we're going to make a color for a trunk just to put inside of there. Just using some of that burnt umber, some of our titanium white. Just mix that color up. There we go. Just get a little, pull it out flat, get a little line on there. And now we're going to come up and we're just going to give, we're just going to give a bit of a trunk. Doesn't have to run through the whole thing, but just enough where you can spot it. There we go. Same over here. Right down that way. We'll put one in here. Maybe here. So that gives us enough up there. Now let's give a little highlight. It's not too bright of a day, but we'll come grab some of that cadmium yellow. Lighten that up just a little more. Put that on the brush, and now we'll come and that will go right in the front there. There we are. Find some more of that. Load it on that brush. There we go. And maybe this guy back here. Getting a little bit of sun. This one too. There we are. This guy was a pretty bright green already. But we'll say some of that's coming down there. There we are. And let's put some of that all the way down. There we go. There we are. And then you get down at the bottom, and we'll just put, there's some grass. Shows up right here. There we are. Just put that in. Not too bright. Not too bright. Of course, we've got a waterfall that's coming over here. So let's get to that. Let's get to that. We're going to have, a rocky color here. All right, so let's say, oh, we have some land back here. There's some rocks. Some rocks back there. Just going to use some of this, some of our black, our midnight black. Just pulling this down. That's giving us some land. Some rocks there. Come back. Waterfall is going to come over this way. We're just kind of planning that out. Now let's do some water. Some water on there. Let's come to our fan brush. Let's clean that off. Just using that same old fan brush I had all dirty. I don't know what's happened. I need some new fan brushes. I seem to have dropped them and they roll away. Maybe they have magic rings. They just disappear on me. That's what seems to happen. There we go. All right, I've got some of that liquid white, our magic white. We're just putting right here, just getting it on the brush. Now we're going to decide. This waterfall, it's just going to come over this way. And this Henneth Annûn was the forbidden pool. It had this waterfall that came down and hid the entrance to the Ithilien Rangers' hideout. That's why Gollum could not go swimming in there, because they thought he was spying on him. All right, so we'll come up here and we just pull this waterfall right down this way. Straight down like that. Now we did have a little blue on the canvas, so it'll pick up some of that. Not too much of it. Not too much. There we go. And this waterfall comes down here, and this is where it swirls and bubbles in the pool. There we are, right there, you see. See, it hits and splashes up. And we'll just put some of that up like this. And we'll blend that in so it looks a little misty. Right now, we just want this water, and this water comes out in this pool, just doing all these sorts of things. Some more of our white on there. There we go, and the water's just gonna run this way and that. Come over this way, and maybe it comes down. There's a little rock there that it splashes up on. You can see, there we go, right there. And then that water comes out this way. Hits some rocks down here. Now this is the fun part. You're just using your fan brush and you're just making this water dance across the canvas. There we go. Maybe it comes down, maybe it's going to go off this way as it goes down to the Annûn River. That's right. That's right. Maybe there's a rock right there. It splashes over. And then it comes down this way. All these sorts of things going on. Water's so much fun to paint. And on these black canvases, if you just put a touch of blue that you can barely see, you didn't even know there was really blue right there until I just hit that with white. Oh, that's what makes it magical. That's what makes it fun. And then we just come down this way. There we go. And maybe we want some more splashy things going on here. Splashing up there. There we are. And up here, maybe we want that a little more flat. You can come back up and do that right there. Or you could say, oh, Timbo, I want some more splashes up there. Okay, we'll make some splashes right there, right there. There we go. That swirling pool. Go off that way. come over this way. And then it just cuts its way down. Cuts its way down. Yes, it does. All right, now I'm going to come. I have just this little blender brush here. This very soft brush. I'm just going to come and we're just going to, oh, I touched it a little too hard. Let me get a bigger one. We'll come to our bigger blender brush and just softly, softly touch this and mist it up. There we go. There we go, right above there. Come out this way. There we are. Knock some of that paint off. It was coming up this way. There we go. And look at that. We just dropped in that waterfall, had that come down, splash around, and make its way out. Make its way out. Now what we want to do is we want to come back and we want to define that wall just a little bit more. So maybe we'll come get a little bit of this midnight black, mix it with this brown we had for those trunks of the trees before. We want a little highlight. So let's come and let's get some of that titanium white, mix it in there. We want kind of a rocky color there. We've got a lot of colors on there now. So now we'll just come and, just like we're doing a mountain, just very lightly, we'll just bring this out and define the edges of those rocks. There we are, right down this way. And it gets lost and buried there by the mist. There we go. Come back. Maybe a little more there. This just comes down. There we are. There we go. And then the mountain comes down this way. Comes down that way. Let's get a little more burnt umber in there. We want a little more brown. There we go. And this will come right here. And just bring it right down. Gets lost in that mist down there. There we go. Now we've got that dropped in, that waterfall. And now we just frame it in by building out these sides. So let's go do that. Let's do that and have some fun. All right, I'm going to come. I've got that blender brush. We're going to come just to some of this titanium white. And we're going to blend it in here a little more. Make it a little more misty up here. Make it so there's a few more layers in there. There we go. Do that on this side. Now we got that. Let's knock some of that paint off. There we are. Now let's just mist this in. Just like that. That'll give us an area in these trees, and we'll have the trees just kind of poking out of that. There we go. Bring that down this way. There we are. All right, now I've got my 2-inch brush here. I'm going to come in. We're going to put some things, some trees back here, but we want to put some dark leaves down first. So we've got this sap green and this black already working up. So we're going to put that in, and then we'll come over, maybe do some highlights there. Oh, we need a little more paint. A little more paint than that. Get this loaded up on our brush. There we are. Now we'll come up and we're just going to put some branches in this way. If you have to, put a big old hobbit foot on your easel. There we are. And then come, whoops, there we go. We're just putting this in over this way. These are just branches in the back. We're just making that some of those come, they just hang out over that way. Come right there. You can see now we're making that hidden back that way. If you pick some of that up, just blend it in, that's okay. Now we're gonna make, we've got some land here. So let's come, just get a color for our land that comes out. There we are. Might be a little too light. We don't want it to be super bright, but we do want to come and make this. This will push that water back into the background. There we go. Down to the water there. Just bring that back up this way. There we are. Let's go do the same on the other side with that. Same on the other side. We're just coming to this color. We've got a lot of different colors in there. Brown and a little bit of white and black and that. And this is just making some land over here. And then we'll come back and we'll put some green vegetation on that. But we just want this. This is just coming out. There we go. It's pushing that water into the background. There we are. Push that back there. Just bring this all the way down. Bring it right over this way. So that goes off to meet the main river. Just fill this up. There we go. All right, now let's do the same over on that side. Let's clean off that brush. There we go. Just beat the Sauron out of it. There we go. Now we have a nice clean brush. And let's do the same where we come back to that black and that sap green. We're just putting some color under here where there's going to be trees over here. Just bring that out. Maybe a little darker because these are leaves that are in the background. Trees that are back here. There we go. Pushes that back. There we go. Sometimes it gets hard to get paint sticking to the canvas. You're pushing paint on and it's not going on at all. And you just have to thin it out a little bit. There we go. We've got that pushed back that way. Now we can come back, come to our palette knife, and let's put some more of that color of some, we'll get some tree trunks going in there. There we go. Maybe that's a little too light. More of that brown. I'm kind of using my I should clear off some room on this palette, but it's okay. There we go. We're just going to come up here and we're just going to put a trunk right in here, not all the way. You don't see the whole thing. He's maybe covered in some and just make the appearance of there's a lot of these trees back here. There we go. There we go. Just put that in and we'll come back and have some things go over that. There we are. There we go. Let's go do the same on the other side. Maybe back this way. There's some trees back this way. We're just putting those in just as they come down. There we go. Maybe we'll put a big old trunk in there. There we are. There's a nice big tree right here. Coming up this way, we'll make them a little bigger. Little bigger. There we go. You can see him peeking through right up that way. There we are. Now maybe we'll put some branches in there too. Just come up to that color. We're just going to use some paint thinner. Just thin it out a bit. Make it a little like ink. That's right. Just taking that paint thinner, rolling it through, just loading it up on that brush. And now we come up here and let's just, we'll do some branches in here. There we go. Same over on this side. Maybe they stick out a bit there. There we are. Now let's fill in some leaves there. Let's come. All right, I have this 1-inch brush. I just kind of gave it a haircut at one point, made it a little round. So it just gives us a little different shape there. So we can kind of come up and then we just put some leaves in here on this one. There we go. Come back, get a little more. And just bring some of those out this way. There we go. You have those trunks in there. You don't want to cover those all up. So just be mindful of that. But we do want to push them back a little bit with some of these leaves here. Now this is a little bright. It's a little bright there, but your oil paints, they'll tone down as they dry. You'll lose some of the color. So if you're making them a little brighter than they seem, it might be like your favorite hobbit. Might seem a little brighter, but really just kind of dull. Just a little dull. There we go. There we go. Just put some in here. All right. Look at that. And that quickly we created a whole forest scene back there. Come back, get some more of that, and we'll do the same on this side. We'll do the same on this side. We're not trying to take away all the dark spots. That gives it some personality. That gives the forest some mystery. And you can see that canvas is a wobbling. It is a wobbling. Just put that there. There we go. All right. Oh, Timbo needs a little more stable easel. That's right. Maybe I'll take some of the yellow ochre in there. And let's put that in. There we are. And just bring those trees out that way. There we go. And you might pick up some of that tree trunk color. If you do, just knock it off on the canvas. There we are. Just bring it out that way. There we are. Down here we get some bushes going. Right at the base of the tree here. Oh, we'll just hide that. Right back there. Gets stuck out in those bushes. There we go. There we go. Now, one thing we need to do over here. We kind of didn't connect to the water there. So let's come up. We'll get this land color. We're just using some of that that we had. We'll bring that right down to the water. There we are. Just do that there as well. Now, if you want to highlight that, you can come up and find, oh, right here. That might be a good highlight color. We'll just do that. Maybe there's some rocks in there. There we go. Just highlight that. Maybe put some on this side. There we are. Now we can go back. Oh, let's take our 2-inch brush. Oh, I forgot to wash it off. So here we go. Beat the Sauron out of that. Now let's put in a grass color here. Maybe some of that yellow ochre too. There we are. Just get that. It's a nice kind of a wet color there. And you can see it's not a real bright green grass. We've got some of that yellow ochre in there. Put some regular yellow in there. And just bring that right down to the water line. Right down there. There we go. Oh, I grabbed a little too much yellow. That's okay. We'll see how it mixes. We'll see how it mixes. Let's do some bushes right here. Right around that tree. Some of these bushes here. Just using the corner of the brush, and that just puts in some bushes there. There we go. And we can do the same on the other side. Let's get some green, some yellow, grab some of that yellow ochre. There we are. And we'll just tap that grass in right down by the water. All right, and that's pretty good. If you just want to do a landscape like that and leave it there, that's fine. But, oh, maybe we'll say Gollum has spotted this forbidden pool. And it's not at night when he's in there fishing, but he just comes upon it. So we'll put Gollum in down here at the bottom. Let's do that. Let's do that. For that, I'm going to go... I'm going to take this, this filbert brush, and let's just come, we're going to put some paint down and then we'll highlight it. So as I usually do with my characters, I start off just with a silhouette. And you can just put in a silhouette and just call it that and that sort of thing. So maybe I have Gollum, he's down here and he's spotted this. So let's give Gollum, his head right here. I'll try and do this so you can see while I paint. Normally I'd stand right in front of it and I'd have a better angle to paint it. So I might make it a little crooked sometimes. But let's see, he's hunched over. He's hunched over. And those would be his shoulders. I know some of this is a little hard to see. You might have to wash off that brush. We'll come back up here, grab this. So, Gollum, he comes. His bony shoulders there. There we go. And some of it you might be just scraping paint out of the way. You might just be scraping some paint out of the way. And then, of course, Gollum has these long, gangly limbs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come, and I don't have a lot of paint on there. I'm just going to pull this paint out, kind of draw him in by pulling paint off. I've just got a paper towel, and I'm just going to draw him in. There we go. It's kind of hard to tell what we're looking at here. Kind of hard to tell, but there we go. Maybe his hand is down here. I know that's very hard to see, very hard to tell, but I'm really just pulling the paint off. There we are. This gangle creature, as Faramir, he pulls later that night. Gollum is not supposed to be swimming in the Henneth Annûn. The penalty is death. But Mr. Frodo does not want that for Mr. Gollum. No, well, he might be tempted. He might be tempted, and he may have second thoughts, but, there's going to be a loincloth there, so don't worry, don't worry. We'll come here, and I'm going to put his... He has a weird stance. Gollum must have been doing yoga all those years in the caves. That's right. Get his flexibility up. Get his flexibility up. He did that yoga. And his hand comes down here. This leg comes over this way. I know, it's hard to see. You're like, Timbo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Clean that off. Let's do a gangle color for his limbs. Let's see. He was kind of pale. We'll see if we can get this to stick. Sometimes Timbo starts this and it may fail, and then I just go back to where we were just done with that, and I say, it was a fun painting, and I'll hold my palette up like that, and you can't even see where I messed up Gollum. That's for sure. That's for certain. Alright, let's bring his big old hobbit foot. This, not hobbit foot. He was maybe related to the hobbits. Some ways down the line. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Come here to the top of his head. And then to his back. He's kind of squatted down. I know it's a little bit of a difficult position to try and imagine. Just think about somebody who's more flexible than yourself and paint that. That's what old Timbo does. Okay. There we are. And I can't give a whole lot of instruction while doing this because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to think of how Gollum would look, how his back would look. And I'm just, when I pick up some of that dark paint, I just knock it off right there and I just come back up here. And this is where it's at. Now, if I wanted it not to be as pale, I'd put maybe a tinge of red in there. But he was in that cave for so long, he lost most of his color. But I'll try and keep it. There we go. For his leg. Oh, and I got to put a loincloth on him. You don't want to see Gollum's bum. Nobody wants to see Gollum's bum. It's hard to do those toes with a brush like this, but we'll just try. We'll try. Maybe we need a little thinner. Thin it out a little bit, get it to stick a little better. There we go. There we go. And I've got to do his hand here. I should probably switch to a smaller brush. I know he's standing kind of funny. Standing kind of funny. Maybe that leg came out a little too far. You do yours, don't make that leg go out quite so far. Oh, let's go to let's put some clothes on this creature. Maybe I want to clean that off. Come up here, just going into that burnt umber. And I'm just going to smash that on there to give it some texture. There we go. Well, I got that angle on his leg. He looks more like a spider. Well, he was kind of a spider-like creature. So, maybe what we can do, if you mess that leg up, we can go, you know what? I think this is going to be a rock right here. Maybe Gollum found a rock to lean against. So you see, we don't make mistakes. We just make happy accidents. There we go. There we are. Now it looks like he's taking a nap, maybe. All right, now we want to just put a little highlight on there. Just a gray highlight on that just to make it look like a rock. Just come in with our palette knife. And it's pretty wet there. It's pretty wet. So I'm just going to scrape some of that out. Take that off. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to take the small part of this knife. I'm just going to go into some of this titanium white, and that'll mix with it right on the rock itself. Right on the rock itself. There we go. We'll say that's a rock there, and old Gollum found it. Now I'm going to come back. I'm using a smaller brush here. Maybe I can get a little bit better detail. Maybe I can get a little bit better detail on his leg here, his foot. And you can come back and fix some of those details. When it gets dry, it's a little easier. Doing this wet on wet technique with these, putting in characters and creatures and things, that gets a little difficult. Gets a little difficult when it's all wet paint. So, but we will just want to give him a little highlight there on his head. And then and a bony shoulder up there. Let's do a bony shoulder. That shoulder up there is very bony. So I hope you can tell what that is. There we go. That's our Gollum, and his head is stooped down. Now I could just keep going on and on and on and trying to put more detail and fix more things, but oh, maybe one last little thing we can do here is it looks like that rock is kind of floating now because it went on top of the grass that was there. So we'll just take one of our brushes here, go back to this grassy color, and then just come here and we'll just do that. That'll push it into the scene right there. That makes it a little more realistic. There we go. All right, and there we have it. Like I said, you can stop. You don't have to put Gollum in there if you're just doing a painting, a waterfall painting. But I thought, oh, we'd have we'd have old Gollum sitting there just scoping it out, thinking, later tonight I'll come back. Oh, you didn't think I was going to do a Gollum voice. Oh, no, my Gollum voice these days. I won't even try. But he'll think, oh, I'll come back tonight and I'll get some fish out of there. There we go. All right. Well, I'm pretty happy with that one. The Forbidden Pool. Henneth Annûn. That's what the Ithilien Rangers called it. So I hope you try this one out. If you do, oh, be sure to take a picture and send it to me. You can find me on Instagram or, Twitter, those sorts of things. Facebook, Timbo Took, just look for me there. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye, and God bless.